Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, the celebration continues for the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team after their historic national championship win. We'll bring you the events from Hamden to Tampa.
Plus, an exclusive student media interview with Chief Experience Officer Tom Ellett. Hear what his job on campus really encompasses.
And the headliner for SPB's annual Wake the Giant was revealed. Find out who will be taking the stage on April 30th.
All this and more on the latest edition of the Q30 Newscast.
It is a beautiful Wednesday night in Hamden. Welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Clever Streich.
And I'm Santino Maoni. We have a lot to cover from this past week.
Now, Santino, both of us are sports connoisseurs, and we're kicking off tonight's newscast with the biggest sports story in Bobcat history.
That's right, Clever. And, I'm feeling kind of frigid, but I heard the hockey team, the men's ice hockey team, they were pretty frozen this weekend.
Yeah.
They won their first ever national championship this past Saturday against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Q30's very own Andrew Reynolds got up-close coverage of the national championship rally at the M&T Bank Arena.
The Quinnipiac community welcomed back the men's ice hockey team following their national championship on Saturday here at M&T Bank Arena. After arriving in Connecticut on Sunday, the men's ice hockey team returned to M&T Bank Arena with a warm welcome from Bobcat Nation.
This trophy just isn't for us, it's for all of us at Quinnipiac, all of you guys. We get to celebrate with you, and I'm glad you're all here. This is special.
With Sunday welcoming the Bobcats home, Monday was the day to celebrate the national championship. Bobcat Nation filled up the rink for this celebration to relive the highlights of the Frozen Four. Many prominent members of the Quinnipiac community were there, including University President Judy Olian, Athletic Director Greg Amodio, and Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont. Head coach Rand Pecknold reflected on the past few days following Monday's festivities.
Obviously a great event. Just such a special moment for Quinnipiac University to win a national championship. Just really proud of my players, their effort, how committed they were the whole season.
The hockey team dedicated this championship win to Michael Torello, a member of the team who passed away in 2021.
He would come to our practices, he'd come to our games, and if you were having a bad day, you would just think about Michael and know that you're in a good spot, and he truly inspired every one of us. He touched all of us.
Outside M&T Bank Arena in Hamden, Connecticut, I'm Andrew Reynolds, Q30 News.
Now, Clever, student media's fingerprints are spread all across Tampa Bay as Q30 and QBSN members travel to the Frozen Four to cover the Bobcats' historic championship run.
Yes, Santino, our colleagues did great work down in the Sunshine State. Joining us now to give a recap of the national title game between Quinnipiac and Minnesota is Matthew Mugno. Matt, how did the Bobcats pull off this miraculous comeback victory?
Tino and Clever, I'm here at M&T Bank Arena, home of the national championships, except they were in Tampa, Florida to deliver and take on the Michigan Wolverines and the Minnesota Golden Gophers en route to that victory. How did things shake out? On Saturday night, it was championship eve. Nearly 20,000 fans and 818,000 viewers witnessed hockey history. Bob Motzko referred to the Bobcats as Big Ten killers, having faith in his talented Gopher squad featuring the best line in college hockey. NHL signee Yanni Perret surrendered a goal following a Jamie turnover, and Jackson Nelson scored off an end-board bounce to put the Gophers up 2-0. Rand then took the risk of pulling his goaltender north of 3 minutes remaining, leading to what would become history for the Bobcats, a 6-on-4 goal to tie things up off the stick of Colin Graff. Overtime for the national championship. Blink and you'll miss it. Meta hits Lipkin in stride to break in 2-on-1, feeding a cutting Quillen, who delivers the university's first NCAA championship in its history. Rand Pecknold finally secures a championship after 29 years of pioneering the program. Behind me here at M&T Bank Arena, the scoreboard showing the final tally and a graphic that says 2023 National Champions.
Thank you, Matt. It was an unforgettable weekend of hockey, and many Quinnipiac fans made the trip down to Amalie Arena for the Frozen 4 festivities, which included a slapshot speed tracker, cornhole, live music, and so much more. A common answer among fans was the trip was worth every penny for not only the weather, but the fan experience itself. Q30 spoke to one fan whose father was the first goaltender under head coach Ran Pecknold.
My favorite part about Tampa is just seeing how many Quinnipiac people have showed out. It's a small school, so seeing how many people are here is just amazing because they're not just a family, we're all a family, even as fans.
Now back here on campus, the administration is also celebrating the hockey team's big win. This includes Quinnipiac's Chief Experience Officer Tom Ellett, who sat down with Q30's Vanessa Blasi for an exclusive student media interview on Monday.
Q30 gave students the option to submit questions for Tom. Students put in questions on many campus issues, including dining and what his title truly means. Let's take a look at what Ellett said.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Tom. I know we've never actually gotten the chance to do a student media interview with you, so congratulations. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the opportunity to do so.
Of course. So one of the first things I want to start off with is a few students mentioned that they wanted more clarification on what your role is. So could you tell us a little bit about what you oversee as Chief Experience Officer at Quinnipiac?
My role is very much focused on, I look at it as two kind of lanes. One is those things that are outside of the classroom academically, so really focused on the administrative pieces. So that has to do with financial aid, the admissions process, Bursar, which is now called One Stop, where students go to pay their bill or register for classes. And then there's the other area of, which is a little more fun at times, is really the community development piece, where we try to make students feel a stronger sense of belonging here. So the student affairs area, public safety, veterans affairs, and all of those things that fall under student affairs area, housing, residential life, et cetera. And I think my job is really about how do we co-create the experience that students play a role in helping to form what this institution will be like. Because hopefully we're creating an environment that any student can come forward and raise their hand, drop an email, and say, I'd like to talk to you. Because at the end of the day, it's our institution. It's not mine. It's ours, right? And so the more that students take ownership for it, the more that they can help in solving what problems might exist here.
I know there's been some talk about switching over possibly from, right now we have the meal points where you tap and you pay for each item of food versus a swipe where you swipe when you come in the front. How has that discussion been? Is it looking like there might be a change in the future?
I would say that we'll have the report and recommendations from the MBA consulting team by the first week of May. Mm-hmm. We're in 5%, the crowd of 5% of college and universities that offer only a point system. Mm. When you think of that and you say 95% of people are doing it differently, do we have it right of being one of the 5%? I would say that we probably aren't. But I'm waiting for the data to come back. I think the best plan we could possibly have for students is a mixed plan where we could still offer full points if you wanted that, and then offer block plans with points. Most schools do that, where you say you get 100 swipes a semester and $500 cash on your card to use at Starbucks, Shake Smart, the food trucks, Bobcat Den, York Hill. Mm-hmm. We would be looking at Cafe Q as an all you care to eat if we go that direction. A little early to say that will happen, but certainly we are very much entrenched in looking at that question.
Thank you, Vanessa. Now for some unbelievable news. Quinnipiac University has been named a B Campus USA affiliate. Quinnipiac joins other campuses across the country that will improve the environment for pollinators. A committee of students, faculty, and staff have been formed. They will meet monthly to discuss habitat improvements. The university will also feature a mixed species ecosystem in the 3 buildings that make up the new South Quad expansion.
As graduation gets closer, more graduate celebrations are beginning. This week, the university honored Graduate Student Appreciation Week. On Tuesday, graduate students were treated to a variety of food trucks, lawn games, and music outside the School of Law. Plus, on Thursday, grad students have the chance to hang out with some goats, and the week will close out with a bingo finale on Friday.
And the celebrations do not end there. Quinnipiac is celebrating student employees with fun activities and campus all week long. Earlier today on the quad, student employees beat the heat by partaking in complimentary ice cream and had the chance to win prizes in a free raffle. The Office of Student Employment will be hosting the event again tomorrow on the North Haven campus from 12:30 to 1:30. Feel free to take the shuttle in case you missed out.
The Edward and Barbara Netter Library received a $2,000 award to buy more books on health, diversity, and equity. This Collection Equity Award is from the network of the National Library of Medicine. The goal of this funding is to place more books on campus that highlight diversity and equity within the community. Students can find new books on the shelves starting in early May.
Sometimes when you're stressed, the best thing to do is add a splash of color to life. The intersection of creativity and mindfulness gave students that chance at the Watercolor and Wellness event earlier today. Students were invited to pick up their paintbrush and partake in relaxing conversations. Free supplies were provided to allow participants to create beautiful art and practice mindfulness.
On Tuesday, the town of Hamden hosted the Stories of Hope mural project launch event. The goal of this event was to raise awareness about the benefits of organ donation. Everyone who came to the event also got to participate in a community paint night. The mural artist joined the community on Tuesday night to prime the mural wall and introduce herself to the locals.
Quinnipiac mural that represents 4 people that have changed the lives of others and donate life Connecticut by donating their organs.
After months of anticipation, the Student Programming Board announced the headliner for this year's Wake the Giant concert.
Q30's Julia Barcello has the inside scoop on which artist will be taking the stage.
I am here at the reveal you have all been waiting for. This year's Wake the Giant performer is Offset. Student Affairs and the Student Programming Board made the reveal through an email sent on Tuesday. SPB held an event after the email was sent out in the piazza where students were welcomed with free food, shirts, and posters. During the event, attendees played a Kahoot, and the top 3 winners received free tickets to the concert. Even students who didn't win are excited and ready to see Offset perform on campus.
So of course I'm excited that Offset is coming to Quinnipiac. I'm definitely going to Wake the Giant because, I mean, if the giant actually does get woken, that'd be pretty crazy. Could be a historic event, but I think it'll be a great event, and I'm happy that I'll be able to experience it.
This year's Wake the Giant event will be April 30th at 8 p.m. in the M&T Bank Arena. Tickets are $15 per person and $25 for floor tickets. Tickets will be available until fully sold out. And that's all I have for you guys here today. And for Q30 News, I'm Julia Barcello.
Thanks for that, Julia. You know, Clever, I'm so excited to see Offset run it up at M&T Bank Arena in a couple weeks. I'm curious, though, do you think he'll play his hit song, Ric Flair Drip?
Well, in the words of the 16-time champ, woo! He'll bring the Ric Flair Drip to Hamden on April 30th.
It's going to be an incredible concert.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing concert. Be sure to get your tickets now before they're gone. Floor seats are already sold out. It's time to step out now for a break on the Q30 Newscast. But first, Connor Core has a weather preview for us.
Connor, what does the upcoming forecast look like?
Thanks, Clever and Santino. As you look at the weather coming up over these next few days, today was a beautiful, gorgeous day outside. Saw a ton of people on the quad with a high of 78 and a low of 55. As we look towards Thursday, it's going to be sunny the entire day, one of the best days of 2023 so far, with a high of 85 and a low of 58. I know we're used to seeing the 58 being the highs, but it's a good change to see. You can tell spring right around the corner. And as we start the weekend on Friday, it's going to be a high of 82 with mostly clouds. A little bit of sun's going to be peeking in and out. But we're also going to have a low of 54. All the full 7-day forecast and the temperatures throughout the rest of the state of Connecticut after this commercial break.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Joel, spot on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo! They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Coming all the way from Hartford, Mayor Luke Bronin visited a Quinnipiac classroom on Tuesday. Mayor Bronin spoke to students in a public diplomacy class. He answered their questions about different topics, such as a plan is for increased Hartford crime, his plans for re-election, and any advice he has for students. Bronin says he hopes students learn to explore all their opportunities in public diplomacy.
There are not a lot of schools that have a public diplomacy minor or public diplomacy coursework. What's great about the subject of public diplomacy is that it really broadens the lens of what diplomacy is and what it can be, and that you can be doing important diplomatic work from so many different places, so many different perches.
The Student Government Association hosted an informational meeting about the upcoming spring elections earlier this week. All executive board positions will be up for grabs in the election. Students went to learn more about the structure of the organization and how they can get involved before ballots are casted in the coming weeks.
Let's take a look at more political news from around the country.
I know the government in Tennessee has been busy almost a week after 3 state legislators were removed from their positions. Now 2 have a second chance. Q30's Katie Cohen joins us now to tell us the latest. Katie?
Yeah, Clever and Santino, 2 of 3 Tennessee legislators have been reappointed to their seats after losing it for protesting. Justin Pearson was reinstated today, while Justin Jones returned to the State House on Monday after the Nashville Area Council unanimously voted to put him back in place as interim representative. The state GOP tossed Jones, Pearson, and fellow Democrat Gloria Johnson out of the legislature as a response to a rally for stricter gun laws on the House floor after the recent deadly school shooting in Nashville. Since these appointments are on an interim basis, special elections for the seats will happen in the coming months. From Nashville to Washington, the FBI is now working to find out who leaked sensitive information and secret intelligence documents to social media. The documents had details on the Ukraine war, as well as the Middle East and Asia-Pacific regions. The defense secretary said Tuesday they were exposed on the internet potentially for weeks.
Where exactly and who had access at that point? We don't know. We simply don't know at this point.
But the investigation is making progress. The FBI has learned specific dates on the documents and that the records were physically taken rather than a cyber leak. Both the Democrats and Republicans are zoning in on the critical areas of the country as election season approaches. This includes the Midwest, where both parties have chosen to hold their national conventions. On Tuesday, the Democratic National Committee announced their convention will be held in Chicago, saying it represents the diversity in the party and will help re-elect President Biden. Now, Biden has not formally announced he is running for re-election, but said he plans on it. Republicans have already chosen Milwaukee to host their 2024 National Convention. One of the candidates at the Republican National Convention will be former President Donald Trump. He said he will not drop his bid for the presidency, even if he is convicted of the felony charges he is facing in a Manhattan criminal case. Tucker Carlson asked the former president if this could cause him to drop out, and he responded saying that he would never do that. This would be allowed as the Constitution does not prevent someone charged or convicted of a crime to hold an office. That's all I have for political news tonight. I'm Katie Cohen. Back to you, Santino and Clever.
Thanks for the update, Katie. Santino, there's always so much going on in the world of politics.
Yeah, you said it, Clever. I could not agree more. Now, folks, it's time to take our second break of the night, but don't touch that remote, as coming up, we have Connor Cord joining us for a weather update. We'll be right back.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Clever, I don't know about you, but I am absolutely ecstatic that we're getting some warm weather here in Hamden.
Yes, Santino, it was so great to see so many students out on the quad today, but my question is the warm weather here to stay? Connor Cord joins us in studio. Connor, I know you were just in Tampa. Are you bringing that warm weather to Hamden?
Yeah, Clever and Santino, I was down in the Sunshine State. I tried to bring up some warm weather with me when I came back. It took a couple days to get here with shipping and handling and stuff like that. Let's get into the 7-day forecast. The weather did eventually come like I previously ordered and mentioned, but as you look to Thursday, tomorrow, like I mentioned, sunny the entire day with a high of 85. As you look to the weekend, it's going to get a little more cloudy on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with rays of sunshine poking in throughout the entire weekend with the temperatures in the low 80s and 70s. Now, as you look towards Sunday, it's going to get into a low in the high 60s at 68. But as you look into Monday, it's going to start seeing a little more precipitation with those clouds coming in, and the temperatures will be in the low 60s with the lows at night into the mid to low 40s as well. Now, let's take a look at the current temperatures in the state of Connecticut, and we'll work from the far side over here. All the temperatures overall have been in the mid to low 60s with the exception of New London in the high 50s. Now look at, like I mentioned, Torrington, Hartford, and Norwich are all in the mid to low 60s, and Danbury and New Haven, more the southwestern part of the state, are in the mid 60s right there, like I said, the exception of New London at 58. Now that is the current temperatures in the state of Connecticut. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Connor. Now let's take a look at some events coming up on campus you can look forward to. Tomorrow night from 4 to 7 p.m., the School of Nursing is hosting a celebration for their 50th anniversary. Alumni from the School of Nursing will have the opportunity to reconnect with their fellow classmates along with current and former faculty members. People who attend will also get the chance to witness the latest innovative technology that's preparing students for the future of nursing.
Get ready to dance and feel the rhythm. Quinnipiac is hosting a night of flamenco. The Val Ramos Flamenco Ensemble will perform tomorrow in the Buckman Theater from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The renowned group will play a variety of flamenco songs to showcase a historical blend of Spanish culture and music. The event is free and open to the public.
Get ready to eat and learn. The American Sign Language Club and SGA are holding their annual Sign and Dine event on Friday. Eli's on Whitney will cater food while students have the opportunity to learn simple ASL signs. You were looking at some video from the event last year. They also have a guest speaker from the American School for the Deaf to share their experience using sign language. The event will take place in CCE Room 118 at 2 p.m.
The Quinnipiac Car Club will be hosting its annual Spring Car Show, which means you may have to move your car elsewhere this weekend. The show will run from 9 to 3 on Saturday at the York Hill parking lot outside M&T Bank Arena. An advisory has been issued asking cars to move to the Eastview lot and York Hill garage to allow ease of access. Cars will be allowed to return to the Westview and M&T Bank Arena lots after 4 p.m.
We've covered tons of stories around the state of Connecticut, but now we are joined by Q30's Keenan Mills to give us an update on national news. Keenan, take it away.
Thank you guys from the desk. What a week it has been for Bobcat Nation, but the country has been just as busy. Let's take a look at some important stories from the past weekend. 5 are dead in a Louisville, Kentucky shooting on Monday. 25-year-old Connor Sturgeon killed 5 and injured 8 at a bank that he worked at. Sturgeon live-streamed the whole thing and was killed by police after trading fire. The police arrived at the Old National Bank just 3 minutes after Sturgeon first fired his rifle. President Biden is making this another point towards getting a move on new gun legislation, while Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear wants to take time to respect the victims. In late March, a Pennsylvania chocolate factory exploded and killed 7 people. On Tuesday, a lawsuit against R.M. Palmer Company claims that they ignored a gas leak going on in the factory. The family of Judith Moran filed the first wrongful death case against the candy-making company. According to the lawsuit, Palmer was informed of a gas smell around the company, but did nothing about it. The cause of the explosion is still under investigation by authorities. All this warm weather has led to a huge snowmelt and possible flooding across 10 states. Temperatures in the Midwest and northern plains are expecting to climb towards the 70s and 80s. This, as well as heavy rain, is a concern across the country. Bright sun, hot days, and wind will cause issues surrounding rivers and creeks in these areas. From the Rockies to the Midwest, America could see flooding, not just during this warm week, but maybe for the rest of the spring. That's all I got for national news this week. It's back to you two on the desk.
Thank you for that, Keenan. Like you showed, the weather is certainly changing, and now we also have to change gears for our last break of the night.
But wait, we're not done. When we return, Nick Antoniadis is in studio to talk even more about the world of Quinnipiac athletics this week. Stick with us.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
Why? My. Oh.
And we're back on the Q30 Newscast. Thanks for sticking with us. Clever, tell our wonderful viewers what's coming up next.
Sports, Antoniadis. What could be more exciting? The men's ice hockey championship wasn't the only story in Quinnipiac athletics this week. Nick Antoniadis joins us in studio now for more.
Well, Clever and Santino, obviously there was a lot to go on in ice hockey, but there was a lot to talk about in the spring side of Quinnipiac sports, so let's just get right into it. The softball team went up against the Mount this past week, and they ended up splitting the series 1 game apiece. Jacqueline Gonzalez would end up getting the win for the Bobcats, securing her 6th win of the season. They are now 500 in the season with a record of 14-14, and they are not done yet. Their next matchup will be against Long Island University this week. Now, let's switch over to the lacrosse field as the men's team went up against Siena this past weekend. It was a back-and-forth matchup the whole entire game, but Quinnipiac came out victorious with a final score of 14-12. Stephen Germain led the way with 3 goals this game, and the other contributors were Evan Perry, Justin Robert, and Nick DiMuccio, the goalie, who ended up making 17 saves in the game. Their next game will be going up against Virginia Military Institute on Saturday, and Quinnipiac is looking to keep this momentum going. Now, I want to keep this lacrosse talk, but let's just switch to the other side and talk about the women's team, as they had their biggest win of the season so far. The Bobcats versus the Manhattan Jaspers, and the Bobcats win it 15-14. Mia Delmon led the way with 4 goals in the game, and Emily Feeney had 2 goals and 1 assist in the game. Goalie Kat Helsender with 8 saves in the game to help the Bobcats lead to the Jaspers, but they tried to fight back, but the Bobcats did not let them. Now they will go up against the Canisius Golden Griffins on Senior Day this weekend. Well, that's all I got for sports. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. That was fantastic. Now it is time for one of my favorite segments. It's time for Quinnipeople.
The men's ice hockey team might have had the spotlight on the ice this week, but we're highlighting Tyra Neuendijk, the captain of the Quinnipiac Ice Cats.
Q30's Olivia Cattell has more on her story and their trip to Tampa.
You may have seen them, flashes of gold pom-poms on the ice, or heard them, rooting on the hockey team throughout the season. The Ice Cats, Quinnipiac hockey's own cheer squad, hits the rink to boost school spirit during hockey games from Hamden to Tampa. One of the team's captains, senior Tyron Newendike, shares her experience being on the team throughout her college career and making this year's trip to the Frozen Four, all from the balcony where she has shown her school spirit for the past 4 years.
I kind of was drawn to Quinnipiac for this team just because it's so different, and I tried out with close to 40 other people, which was awesome, and there was only 3 freshmen that year along with myself.
Not many schools have a hockey cheer team, and Newendike says she was determined to try out. She practiced drills on the ice with her dad, NHL Hall of Famer and 3-time Stanley Cup champion Joe Newendike.
You definitely want to be around hockey, especially growing up in that setting. So Quinnipiac has been the perfect place, the perfect setting. It's a great hockey culture here, and yeah, I've loved every second of it.
The hockey culture that we see today can be attributed to the Ice Cats, which allowed Newendike to travel to Tampa, Florida and cheer in the Men's Ice Hockey National Championship as part of her senior year.
I remember standing on the ice shaking and stuff, my palms as the men celebrated and stuff like that. And then when Rand walked off, he kind of said, "We're all going to Tampa." So then we all got really excited, and that kind of built up the excitement to go there.
Newendike says some of her best college experiences came out of the Ice Cats team.
If you're coming into college and you're looking for an experience that is so original and so unique, and you want to be a part of a team engaged in the community, definitely join Ice Cats. It's been my favorite memory from college. It's been the best experience of my life, and I would 10 out of 10 do it again every single time.
For Q30 News, I'm Olivia Cattell.
Unfortunately, we are out of time for tonight's Q30 Newscast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for everyone behind the scenes for making tonight's show possible.
For more news and content, visit our website, Q30TV.com, and follow us on Twitter at Q30 News. For Santino Maione, I'm Clever Streich. Good night from Hampton.